Happy to have you here, MS. Thank you so much for being here. Uh, I have a few questions to ask you, and very keen to hear very interesting answers from you. First up, I'll start with a very mild one. Any cherished memory of your childhood?
I won't say only the childhood, but till I went to class 10th. There was slightly less stress about everything. I was playing cricket, competing in school sports, whatever sports was happening, I was competing. So I'm very fond of my school days, especially till class 10. So, I can pick anyone from there and, I can be very happy. And if given a chance, I would relive that moment in a sense. I'm happy to go back to school and, study and play sport.
Awesome. I'm sure this is a good lesson for the youngsters who are going to school to enjoy that period that
I think it's the best period because a lot of youngsters that I've spoken to now, they complain that they don't have enough time for studies and sports. But, if you're attentive in class, you don't need to revise a lot. And then if you are good in time management, you can get time out for sports and studies. And I've always felt that you have a lot of energy as a kid. So you're not short of energy. It's just that, you want to do something more than other. It may be sports more than studies or studies more than sport, but the right combination is very important.
Very nice. Thank you so much. We all know your passion for cricket and also for biking. Where did this passion for biking start?
Well, if you see in India, biking compared to some of the other parts of the world, biking is more fun in other parts. It's more recreation. But in India, when we were growing up, it was more a form of commuting. You're going from one place to the other. It's either a bike or a scooter, or those were the primary forms of transport. So, yes, we also used to do the same. And when we used to practice, we had a senior cricketer, who would bring his bike and he would park it. And he had a very funny way of telling us, he'll be like, you want to take the catch or not? I'm not worried. So my bike is behind you. If anything breaks on the bike, you have to pay for, whatever breaks. And he would hit catches to us and he would hit very hard.
Oh, lovely.
And we realized that if you try to stop the leather ball, it hurts you more. So we decided that we are better off, catching it. So I think also the bike parked right behind me for, 5-6 years every time, or most of the time when we were catching, that also got me closer to motorcycles, and it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So, slightly fun question. If you had to pick a biking companion from the cricketing world, any country, not just Indian, who would you pick and why?
Well, it's difficult, because I've not heard from many cricketers that, they love to ride a motorcycle. They would love to, come for a ride and stuff like that. So there are hardly many who actually ride a motorcycle because one of the perception is that it is very unsafe. In the sense, to put it very simply, in a motorcycle, unlike a car, whether it's your fault or not, if there's an accident or if you fall, you will get hurt. And most of the athletes, they're very worried about their joints, especially knees and elbows. So most of the players, they stay away from it. But people who have sat with me on a bike and we have been on a ride, I can pick one who I would not, take as a companion, and that will be Suresh Raina because, he starts moving. So if he sees a truck, getting close, he starts.
Backseat riding.
Yeah, he starts to move. And all. I think same is the case with my wife. A long time back, we were in Delhi, so at night, I said, okay, we'll go for a ride. So she was sitting behind, and nicely, mostly empty road. So I'm riding like this. So there was a truck. So we were on the left side, at a cruising speed. So all of a sudden I realized my bike is slowly moving towards the left. I'm like, that shouldn't happen. Maybe the tire pressure or something is wrong. Then I realized there was a truck. So my wife is like, there's a truck on the right, there's a truck on the right, and started moving to the left. So that was the last time I was like, no, I'm not taking you for that.
On a Eurogrip tire, you don't have to worry about it.
My wife will still be sitting there. Because it wasn't the tire, she was moving the motorcycle.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that moment. Any other funny situation, not with your wife, when you're on a bike?
So I've not had many accidents, but I had fallen a couple of times, touch wood. So once it was in my colony. So what they had done was they put these big humps as speed breakers, So I was in a motorcycle all alone. So what I decided was the hump is too big, so you'll go around it.
Yeah.
So there was grass, and it was monsoon season. So I must be like 10 or 15 kilometers, not even that. So I braked. This is the speed breaker. I went on the left. Then as soon as I turned back onto the road, the motorcycle just goes off, and I'm on the road. So the first thing, I'm looking upward. So okay, there's no one, nobody has seen me fall. Then I get up sheepishly, and I start riding. So basically, what had happened was underneath. So the grass is the same height, but underneath there was difference in the height of the soil. So from here, once I started going up, it was different. So I just slipped, and yeah, so that was one memory, where I was like, thankfully nobody watched me.
Nobody saw. Yeah, that's right. Serious one. If there's one person that you're grateful to, who would that be for what you are today?
I think my parents, because they had to sacrifice a lot, and I feel a lot of discipline that I have today is because of my parents. And friends are always important. You have a different set of friends when you are in maybe till class 2 in my case. Then from class 3, 4 onwards, the friends change a bit. Then finally when you go to plus 2, it changes. So I always felt friends are a very important part of who you are, because everything else, so upbringing can be the same, when it comes to two siblings, but it's the friends that really make a big difference. And the upbringing helps you choose what is the right thing to do. You'll have 5, 10, 15 or 40 different friends, and everybody will be doing different things, but it's the upbringing, that helps you choose what is the right thing to do. So I'm grateful to my parents and my close friends.
Good old saying, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. That's it. After stepping away from international cricket, how has life changed? Are there any aspects that you miss and those that you've gained because you're not traveling?
Well, I thought I'll get more time, but sadly I've not got a lot of time. I don't miss international cricket because I always believe, you think about everything, then you take a decision. Once you have taken a decision, no point really, thinking about it again. So I'm very happy with, with God's grace, whatever I was able to do for my country. Other than that, it has been fun. I've been able to spend time with a lot of friends. I can do a lot more motorcycle rides, not the long ones, but that's something that is very close to my heart. So that's something I keep on doing regularly, even if it's going to the gym when I'm in Ranchi, or I live on the ring roads. I can just go around the city, it will take me maximum 40-45 minutes. So that sense of freedom, that sense of doing what you really love, and spending time with the family, because when you're playing all the 3 formats, you actually don't get a lot of time with the family. And now with the daughter growing up, the first 6-7 years were fine. Now she has actually started asking, okay, when you coming back? So, whenever I give her a call from outside, whether it's FaceTime or anything, the first question, she's like, okay, when are you coming back? So, in the moment you say, okay, I'm coming back on, like after 6 days or 7 days, she goes like, can you come tomorrow? I'm like, why do you do all this calculation when you're supposed to say the same thing? But yeah, so it has been good.
Daughter dear. That said, you still play cricket, and intense cricket, so which means you have to keep fit through the year. It's not that you can get fit one fine morning and start playing. How do you manage this supremely fit self of yours?
So I would definitely say that I'm not as fit what I used to be. A lot of effort now needs to be there on what you are eating, and I'm doing very specific things to be fit for cricket. And we are not fast bowlers, so our requirements are not that intense. So what really helps me is, apart from in between eating the right things and going to the gym, is playing a lot of sports. So whenever I get time, if I'm in a good physical state, I like to play a lot of different sport. Maybe tennis, it may be badminton, it may be football, it may be paddle. So that keeps me engaged, and it's the best way of being in touch with fitness, because it's not very boring to a lot of extent. You can have that banter with your friends who you're competing against, and that gives you you can say a lot of motivation also. You want to be fit, you want to win games, and you want to go back to the court and play all the different sports.
Awesome. You're one of those few celebrities who's managed to maintain a low profile, particularly on social media. If you want to know the reason behind it, how do you do it?
Well, I've never been a big fan of social media. Throughout, I've had different managers, and all of them keep pushing. So, um, I started playing in 2004, and Twitter was almost, it got popular slightly later on. Then Instagram came in, and all the managers are like, you should do some PR, build this, build that. So I looked at all my different managers. I had the same answer. If I play good cricket, I don't need PR. And yes, if it's for the fans, then yes. But what do I post? What do I keep posting? What do I feel is important? What do I feel it's not important? So it becomes very difficult what to constantly put on something. So I'm always like, if I have something, I will put. If I don't have anything, I won't put. So also it takes that stress away. I'm not worried about who has how many followers, who's doing what, because I know if I take care of cricket, everything else will take care of itself.
If you do what you're doing very well, then why do you need all this awesome answer there?
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, people shouldn't do
That's
it, but at the same time, if it's not you, then don't do it. In the sense, if you get distracted because of it, if you feel, if you are amongst the person who reads the comments or response, and then if there's certain bad things which will be part of it, then you feel bad. So if you know that's what is happening, that's not the right thing for you. So be wise about whether it's helping you or it's dragging you down. So if you get the right answer, do what is the right thing.
Awesome. Is there an all-time favorite song in your life that you keep humming, and anything that after all the riding that you've done today?
No, I wouldn't say like an all-time favorite. I love Kishore Kumar, so all his songs are like my favorite. You keep hearing all the modern Bollywood songs and everything, but I always fall back to Kishore Kumar, and that era, because I felt the songs had a lot of meaning, and it was more the voice than the music. So it gives you that satisfaction. You are alone, you sit, and you just hear the song.
Thank you so much. And there is this that you've said it and you actually lived it. Control the controllables. And now I think management school should take that from you. It's easier said for some and very difficult to do, and you've been practicing it. How do you actually do it?
Well, you first need to differentiate what is a controllable. So if you start complicating stuff, then it becomes very difficult to understand that. Like in cricket, people talk about what is cricket, so you'll always come up with different explanation. But one of the best forms to play cricket for a batsman is, you watch the ball and you react to whatever is bowled at you.
Yeah.
The moment you start overthinking, oh, he bowls at a decent pace, he's a good outswinger, he does bowl in swingers, he has a sharp bouncer, he may bowl a Yorker to bluff me. So now, from keeping it simple and saying, okay, watch the ball and react, we have started thinking about all the other things. So again, what is a controllable? For me, the controllable in cricket is I have to practice well, I have to eat well, I have to be fit, how much sleep I had before the game, how much hydration I have had, and how well I have prepared, trying to get more information about the opposition. If I've done all those things right, I've equipped myself to perform. So it's quite a simple decision, but yes, the moment you start to complicate things, it seems very complex. So I feel it's an easy decision to make. You can't really make everyone happy, so I shouldn't be worried about, okay, what others are saying. But at the same time, if I'm not listening to others, it may be like whatever knowledge I have is the most that I can have. So it's very important to have that open mind. But at the same time, you need to be honest enough and wise enough to realize this is good for you, this is not good for you. So that's where it slightly overlaps, so.
Brilliant. So I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions, shorter answers, so makes it easy for you. One hobby that you have, but world does not know about it.
I don't think there's anything like that, in the sense, because our lives has been so open, I would have said, like, I like to spend a lot of time on my bikes, but most of the people, they know that, so I don't think there's anything that is confidential that I do but others don't know about.
Fair enough. Well, I have the answer to the next one. I'm still going to ask you. Long hair, short hair, which is the favorite?
Started with long, but I think short. Over the period I've realized it's a short hair. That's
Maintenance.
you can do more with it. Long is, it restricts a lot.
It's just one food item you cannot say no to.
Butter chicken,
Butter
a good butter chicken.
Good butter chicken. Any back home in Ranchi, you don't have to state the place, but is it Ranchi or elsewhere?
No, anywhere.
Anywhere.
So generally, the funda with butter chicken is you cannot get it wrong,
Okay.
because the spectrum is too big in the sense it can be very sweet, it can be very spicy, it can be right in the middle. So it's very difficult to make bad butter chicken
Master
because the
Chef.
margin of error is so big.
Master Chef MS. If you had to play a sport apart from cricket, which one would you choose? Don't say football, because we know that part of your life.
Badminton, but it's very tough. At school level and all I played, but mostly we used to play doubles. So I feel it's fun, but amongst the newer sport, I would pick paddle. I've started it. I'm playing it for last close to 1.5 year, and
Oh, yeah?
I feel it's a lot of fun. It's like a recreational sport in India, but it's a lot of fun. It looks tough, but it's not tough.
Okay, right. Fun one. One Bollywood film you wish you had starred in, if that ever rose as a point.
I think acting is very tough. I've done ad films and all, but I feel acting is very tough. So definitely, I won't want to pick a movie, to act in it. So I would love to watch a movie,
Okay.
but acting is tough. So I would never think about, oh, I would love to be that character from that movie.
After we saw how natural he was, the director on the other side is disagreeing with you. If you could have dinner with an historical figure, is there anyone like that you would like to have dinner with?
No, I would
No?
prefer a nice, quiet sit down with the close friends that I've got. Because
In your
if I pick some historical figure, I won't be speaking. So we are just sitting and having food.
Last question from my side. The best compliment you have received need not be from somebody famous though, but
I think a lot of people have complimented me, but my wife saying you have done all right in life, that's a big compliment, She doesn't give a lot of compliments.
finally it all comes back to that, right?
Yeah, because we are all trying
Absolutely.
to do the same, trying to impress our wives.
I did that today.
We all do that. That's what I said. We love to get those brownie points.
Thank you so much, and it's going to be it's a great associating with you from brand Eurogrip. Thanks a lot, MS, for this chat.